It's time for you to be a part of the show. Email or call with questions for Dr. Mike now. Email Ask Dr. Mike Smith at radiomd.com or call 877-711-5211. What are you waiting for? The doctor is in.
So Patty writes, I have been struggling with weight loss. I gained 44 pounds in about a year. I have a job that works me 12 hours a day, 60 hours a week. So stress is a big thing, right? Okay, so I'm going to write that down, stress. I usually grab what I can to eat because I'm so hungry when I get to eat. Is there a way to try and lose weight with healthy foods that are simple to cook? So healthy foods, simple to cook. Great question, Patty. Thank you for sending it in. Boy, there's a lot here, a lot of different ways to go. Okay, so I guess let me start off by just answering your question, but then I'm going to use your scenario, Patty, as a springboard to talk about a couple other things, I think. But let's so Patty, your question is, okay, you're not eating great, you're eating quick. At the end of the day, it's probably mostly prepackaged, processed stuff. It's, high calorie, low nutritional value, classic Western style diet, standard American diet, high calorie, low nutrition. And and it's causing a lot of weight issues. Add to that the fact that you're stressed and all this other kind of stuff. I appreciate what you're struggling through, Patty. So, and I love the question. I love that you first want to talk about healthy foods. I think that's great. Because at the end of the day, what's really going to work is a lifestyle change, right? And maybe this begins with trying to identify foods that are not calorie dense but are nutritionally dense. Yeah, there are foods that are lower in calories but jam-packed with micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, and antioxidants and essential oils. Those are the foods, Patty, we want to focus on. These are the foods we want to cook with and eat. And I think it's a great place to start. So, with the help of some of the life extension advisors, because Patty, here's the thing: if you go on Google and just search nutrient dense, low calorie foods, or nutrient dense foods, or healthiest foods, whatever, however you want to search it, tons of websites, tons of resources pop up. And it's like, where do you even begin with all that? And some of the lists are kind of similar. Some of the lists are kind of way out there. So I asked a couple of our nutritionists that work as life extension health advisors to kind of wade through some of that for me. And here's the list they came up with. So we broke it up into vegetables, seafood, nuts and seeds, legumes, grains, and spices, herbs and spices. So let me just start with the vegetables, and these are in alphabetical order. Here are what we believe at Life Extension to be the healthiest, most nutrient-dense, lower-calorie vegetables: asparagus, beets, bok choy, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, collard greens, eggplant, kale, leeks, olives, sea vegetables, seaweed, squash, sweet potatoes, Swiss chard, and I think there's a couple more, tomatoes, and turnip greens. Those are the vegetables you want to be cooking with, Patty. As far as the seafood goes, cod. I love cod, by the way. Now, you're not going to want to bread it and fry it. We don't. So how you're preparing this food is important too, right, Patty? But cod is low calorie, packed with great oils, especially Alaskan cod. Great content of omega oils, just awesome for you. Salmon, sardines, and fatty tunas. I don't know if you're anchovies too. I would throw in there. Anchovies didn't make the list. I'm not sure why. I like anchovies, but sardines are good too. I mean, my dad used to eat sardines on crackers. And now they have boneless sardines too, which makes it a little bit easier. So there you go: cod, salmon, sardines, and tuna. I mean, let me just maybe I have a disclaimer here, Patty. I mean, this list obviously it can't be exhaustive, but this is what we've put together: nuts and seeds, almonds, cashews, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, and walnuts. Just be careful with nuts and seeds. They're highly nutritious, but they're not quite on the lower calorie side. That's the problem. But the flax seeds, pumpkin seeds would probably be a little less calories than, say, the almonds and the walnuts. But really any nuts and seeds, but keep it to a handful. All right, what about beans and legumes? Black beans, chickpeas, which is the garbanzo beans, kidney beans, white beans, lentils, lima beans, navy beans. Awesome. Packed with protein, packed with good carbs, packed with good fat. Watch the calories with those as well. Remember, Patty, you want to be eating mostly foods that are highly nutritious and a little lower on the calories. So be careful. The nuts and seeds, the beans and legumes, highly nutritious, but they pack a little bit of a calorie punch. So be careful there. Make sure you keep it to the appropriate serving size. What about grains? This is a big one. Some people might tell you just avoid grains altogether. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you the information. If you do decide, Patty, to include grains in your diet, barley, buckwheat, millet, quinoa, rye, all of those are probably the better ones. Forget definitely anything white. Even the whole wheat varieties of breads, be careful. Many of them are just as bad as the white. So really stick with the whole grains if that is part of your diet. What about spices and herbs? So here what was funny. Okay, so I get this list, Patty, from the health advisors, and it starts with basil. That was the first one. And it ends with, where does it end here? It looks like it ends with turmeric tea. And, I mean, listen, if it's a spice, it's good. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I mean, let me just pick a couple. Basil, any chili peppers, cilantro, which I just talked about, cinnamon, cloves, cumin, oregano, rosemary, sage, turmeric. Just use it. Matter of fact, especially when you're trying to lose some weight, maybe you're on a certain diet, Patty. Boy, the spices are a great way to get some good antioxidant, good essential oils, and add a lot of flavor to foods maybe that you're not used to eating because you're on a diet. And that brings up a couple other things. So, Patty, there's the foods. Those foods I just went through, highly nutritious, lower in calories. Eat those. There's lots of different resources with different lists, but that was a kind of a compilation of some of the better ones we saw. Now, watch. Okay, one of the things you said is that you're starving by the end of the day, and you're then you just eat this huge meal. Classic lifestyle for Americans. Don't do that. You got to try to snack throughout the day. That's where the legumes, the beans, and stuff like that can come into play. Even some of the grains, because you'll burn off some of those sugars that they do make in your body. So you got to try to eat. You got to eat to keep metabolism up. That's really important. Stress raises cortisol. Guess what cortisol does, Patty? Cortisol mobilizes sugar in your body. And if you're sitting at an office at a desk all day long, what you said, 12 hours a day? I can't remember what you said, but you're at a desk most of your day, sitting probably. All of that cortisol is producing sugar. All that sugar, which you're not burning, or you burn a little bit, but most of it you just store as fat. You got to bring that cortisol down. You got to deal with stress. Very important. Saffron extract might be good for you because that counters some of the effects of cortisol. DHEA is a hormone that you can get over the counter. That counters some of the stress of the hormone. So a good question for you to ask, Patty, is why am I gaining this weight? Look at how you're eating and look at your stress and modify those, and that will help as you eat the nutrient-dense, low-calorie foods. This is Healthy Talk on Radio MD. I'm Dr. Mike. Stay well.